and the realities of life. We are aware that everything in the world is impermanent. We are also aware that this impermanence makes us unhappy. And we try to make things permanent. But the problem is, we can never make things permanent because the reality of life is that everything is impermanent. So our emotions want things to be permanent. Although our reason tells us, our thinking ability tells us that we cannot have everything permanent. But when someone dies, we all cry. When someone is born, we celebrate birthdays. We are very happy about birth. And we are unhappy when someone dies. Why? To be born is like throwing a ball into the air. And we see this ball going up. But this ball is in the process of falling down. We never think that to be born is to die. And that we cannot have permanence in life. That is, this awareness of life and the impermanence of life is done by the thinking part of the mind. But it is the emotion that begins to like things and hate things. In other words, the emotions and the thinking part come in conflict. The thinking part coming in conflict with the emotional part is all the unhappiness in the world. And when the emotions are excited, we are carried away by the emotions. Our thinking cannot stop that. When the emotions and the thinking are in conflict, emotion always wins. That's the problem. Now, when a Buddhist recites the 5 precepts, they are aware that it is a good thing to follow the 5 precepts. But they go home, the husband may quarrel with the wife, or the wife may quarrel with the husband, the parents may quarrel with the children, and the children may be quarreling with the other children, sisters and brothers quarreling, or even quarreling with the neighbors. Why? Because the reason says it is not correct, but the emotions are not worried about that. I don't care whether it is correct or not. I want to take revenge on someone, or when I desire something, I must have it, whether it is right or wrong. Now that way, we are carried away by the emotions, and that is how we break the 5 precepts. The difficulty is the emotion. So if we are carried away by emotions which are blind and self-centered, we will always become unhappy. This is what today people have begun to identify, and they call it stress. Stress is nothing but emotion. It is the emotion that is creating all the worries and anxieties of life. Not only just worries and anxieties, all the crimes created, all the wars, all the troubles in the world is due to emotions. It is these emotions that the Buddha saw as the cause of all the suffering in the world. That is what Buddha called tanha, today translated as craving. It's not just craving, it is simply emotion. The word craving doesn't convey that real meaning of tanha. It's an emotion, and the modern psychologists are fully aware of this. And so, this is why they see all mental sickness as emotional disturbances. Now today they speak of neurosis, psychosis, and today most of these problems, you go to a psychiatrist, they have a new word called polarity or polar. What is this polarity? It is simply that we are going in 2 directions. It's like the clock, the pendulum clock that goes left and right all the time. In the same way, our life goes like that, 2 directions. That is the polarity that everyone is suffering from. Not only insane people. This is why the psychologists have begun to say that normality and neurosis is simply a matter of degree. So it's the same thing. And this is what the Buddha was talking about in the first sermon. You may have heard about the first sermon, which is called the Dhamma Sutra. Buddha says there are 2 extremes. 2 extremes that people go to. One is Kama Sukhalikana Yoga, and the other one is called Atta Kilamatana Yoga. These are the two